Hi, welcome back to your own lovely channel Fun Facts with another interesting and exciting video. Before starting video, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to stay tuned for our upcoming exciting videos. 1. The Muttering Sweeper. Once in a kingdom far away, the king's most trusted minister had a grand party. The minister invited everyone from the royal palace. Even all the servants came accompanying the king. When the king arrived, he looked his royal seat and took a look around. He was pleased with the arrangement. The gentry had made an appearance at the minister's party. It was at the height of the grand festival when the minister spotted a dirty sweeper at the back of the crowd. He was worried that if the king saw such a dirty and poorly dressed servant in the midst of all the grandeur, he would be displeased. He ordered someone to escort the sweeper out of the hall. When the sweeper was told to leave, he became angry at the minister's arrogance. The sweeper worked at the palace, and he immediately knew what to do to take revenge for the minister's poor treatment to him. At the palace, the sweeper got a chance to clean the king's room. When he entered the king's chamber, he was lying down. This sweeper started muttering under his breath. What a king does not even know that his own minister is after his breath. Beating was resting, but he was away, and he had what the sweeper was drink under his breath. It angered him greatly, and he represented the sweeper for his insolence. The sweeper begged the king's forgiveness and spoke to the king. "Forgive me, your majesty, I have worked all night, and the lack of sleep has loosened my tongue. Please forgive me my impudence." With these words the sweeper went away, but now the king had become suspicious. He started wondering why the sleep-deprived sweeper had said that. The minister became a suspect in his eyes, and he began to treat him with aloofness and coldness. The minister became worried by the king's sudden change in behavior and investigated the cause of it. From rumors and a variety of servants, the minister came to know the causes of his distress was in fact the ordinary sweeper he had once turned out from his party. He decided to right the wrong he had committed. He called the sweeper and apologized. The minister also gave the man expensive clothes and precious gift as an apology. He asked sweeper say the kindness of the minister. He felt guilty for making the king suspicious of him. He decided to right the situation. In a few days the sweeper got another change to clean the bed and chamber of the king. This sweeper saw that the king was resting. He started muttering under his breath. What a strange king! How could he cheat on the queen with a servant girl? The king was awake and heard the statement. He woke up furiously and started to shout at the sweeper's statement. The sweeper fell at the king's feet and asked forgiveness for his insolence. He said that he had no idea what he was muttering because he had worked all night and was deprived of sleep. The king was angry, but he let the sweeper go. He now knew that he could not trust the sweeper's words because he said whatever he wanted about everyone. The king went back to treating the minister normally. Dear kids, it is wrong to think lowly of someone because of their station in life. It is even worse to believe someone's words without proof. And it is important to ask for forgiveness when one has done wrong. 2. The Lion, the Ass and the She-Fox. Once, a lion, an ass and a she-fox became friends. Together, they went out to hunt. They saw a sheep. Working together, they cornered and hunted it down. The lion ordered and stepped back. The lion was angered by this because he was the king of the jungle and considered himself to be deserving of a bigger share. He attacked the ass and killed him. After that, the lion asked the she-fox to divide the meat. The she-fox gathered all the meat in one place and kept only a few pieces for herself. The lion was very pleased by this and asked the she-fox, "Where from did you learn the art of division?" This and asked the she-fox, "Where from did you learn the art of division?" The she-fox laughed and said, "Your Highness, it's you who have decided according to my wishes." After seeing the end of the ass. Dear kids, a wise person is the one who learns from the mistakes of the others, not the one who dooms himself by making a mistake. 3. Rats and Crane. Once there lived a grain vendor and a fruit vendor. Both work side by side every day. One day the grain vendor asked the fruit vendor for his scale and weights. The fruit vendor asked the fruit vendor for his scale and weights. The fruit vendor immediately gave them to him. The next day the fruit vendor asked the grain vendor for his scale and weights. The grain vendor shook his head with sadness and told the fruit vendor that the previous night, his storage was attacked by rats, and along with all his grain, they ate his scale and weights too. The fruit vendor was greatly angered by this response, but deemed it wise to stay quiet. One day the grain vendor required a lot of fruits. He went to the fruit vendor and placed a large order. The fruit vendor requested that he send his son with him, and he would bring his ordered fruits from the city. The grain vendor agreed and sent his son with the fruit vendor the next morning. When the fruit vendor returned with the grain vendor's fruits, he was alone. The grain vendor's son was not with him. The grain vendor was very worried and inquired about his son. At this, the fruit vendor lowered his head in mourning and told the grain vendor that on the way to the city, a large crane swooped down from the sky and snatched his son away. The grain vendor was shocked and screamed, "But how could it be possible for a crane to carry away a grown boy?" The fruit vendor smiled and said, "In a city where rats can eat a scale and weights made of iron, the cranes can also carry away a grown boy." The grain vendor hung his head in shame. He knew the fruit vendor meant. He immediately apologized for his conduct and returned the scale and weights to the fruit vendor. In reply, the fruit vendor brought his son who, unaware of all the commotion, was playing in a field nearby. Dear kids, if you use deceit to take away someone's possession, you might lose something of far more value to yourself in return. In the end, hope you can make your day with this interesting video. If you can enjoy the video, then don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon.